Hey, it's Josh with Cultural Catholic coming at you with another International Wednesday. Today it's going to be a fairly UK centric episode. Um, so, first story is Professor Stephen Hawking passed away today. Stephen Hawking, brilliant physicist who suffered from ALS, probably died because of ALS, is probably one of the most celebrated intellectuals in the history of the world. Um, he basically expanded on Einstein's theories. Instead of going with a macro, going with a more micro look at how things worked in the world. Yeah, he was, like I said, probably one of the most brilliant men to ever live. Certainly, probably the most brilliant person in the world in the world today, or was. Um, he lived a fairly complicated life. He Like I said, he suffered from ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. He was married a couple of times. First to I think a fellow student, and he had three children with her. But that marriage eventually broke down. It was kind of adapted in A Theory of Everything in 2014 with Hawking played by Eddie Redmayne. Of course, the movie adaptation isn't exactly going to be how it actually worked. And it helped us understand Stephen Hawking before he became the person that people my age know him as, the guy in a wheelchair with the robot voice. He was very brilliant, very progressive, argued, and also tried to enlighten the general public on physics and science in general, trying to increase the amount of knowledge that is available for people and trying to distill it so that people who don't exactly have the same training as he does to understand it. Now, didn't always work, but he tried his hardest, and he was probably one of the most recognizable faces in science for decades. So now on to the other UK story. A few months back, we remember President Trump retweeting some videos from a right-wing British political party known as Britain First. Well, they had Facebook pages, and their leader and deputy leader also had Facebook pages. And because of the things that they were posting, they were banned from Facebook. Their pages were taken down, and they've been banned from. The leader and deputy leader have been suspended from Facebook, but they're not allowed to set up another Britain First Facebook page. Britain First and Facebook have been having this fight for a while, and by Britain First and Facebook, I mean Britain and Facebook have been having this fight for a while. According to Facebook's guidelines, they are individuals and organizations are not allowed to post hateful things that incite hate or violence against protected classes of people. And Britain First obviously broke that. Not only did they do that on Twitter, they also did that on Facebook with memes likening Muslim immigrants to animals and things of various nature, things like that. Now, I find that personally disgusting because just because a person believes in a different religion than I do doesn't make them inherently worse than me. And I understand the reasoning behind it, and Facebook has the right to do that. It is a private company. It is not the government. And thus not subject to free speech protections. And free speech is a little different in the UK and Europe in general. Hate speech is something that is a legal thing to do. And actually, The leadership of the Britain First Party have been sentenced for hate speech in British courts. However, if you do it to right-wingers, I wouldn't be surprised if Facebook could be pressured to do the same thing to left-wingers. The idea of free speech is not to protect what is considered respectable discourse. It is meant to protect what is most extreme. Now, again, I personally find what they posted abhorrent. However, I do not have the right to say that I do not have the right, and the government doesn't have the right to say that they can't post their messages. Again, Facebook is a private company and thus is not constrained by those kinds of rules. However, I think they should be, because they're doing similar-ish, but not to the same extent, things to left-wing media outlets that post stuff on Facebook. It's a little harder. Now, again, it's not taking them down, suspending their accounts, but it's a little harder to find left-wing stuff if it's not something like that you normally listen to, like I do. You have to dig through to actually find it. So if you're going after one side of the political spectrum, you're going after the other side, and that is not something that you should be doing as a private company or as a government. So I think, again, however important Britain First is, they shouldn't have had their stuff taken down. Now, if they were actively inciting hatred and violence by saying, hey, this is what these people are, here are these people, and they're doxing them or harassing them online or in person, then go ahead. But by saying these things doesn't explicitly mean that they're telling their followers to go out and do something about it. So yeah, that's my take. Again, I don't agree with Britain First. I abhor them. But free speech is not meant to keep what is kosher protected. That's it. This is Josh with Cultural Catholic signing off.